V-Look, come here. Oh, what a boy. What a good boy. V-Look, what are you doing, baby? Oh, just talking about angels with my white pigeon. On God, you best not shit. Come here. Come on, up. Can I help you? Okay. Alright, everyone, hello. This time on Angel Saint of the Month, I figured, since it's Sagittarius season, rather than just talking about any specific angel, I would actually walk you through a bit of how to find your own guardian angel, because my guardian angel happens to be one of the angels of Sagittarius. Let's get into it. So, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, the process of finding your guardian angel may differ person to person, and it may not always be the angel that you thought it was gonna be. As much as I love this angel tarot deck, it is super cool, and honestly it's way better as like a tool to commune with angels than it is to like do tarot with. Same with my occult tarot deck, which has the 72 demons in it and such. I will say that this has a way of finding your guardian angel, and it's a little interesting. So Travis McHenry wrote the guidebook for this, as well as did all the different cards and all the different things like that. We have all kinds of different angels like Aniel and other ones, and it'll tell you, right? It'll tell you the name of the angel, what their name means, a little bit about what they can help with, their sigil, other things like that. It's really a very interesting deck. I love it a lot. But with the guidebook, it'll tell you. For example, if we have Khalil, right? It said that he's the sole guardian of those born between 5:40 a.m. to 6 a.m., the moral guardian born from 6th of April, 17th of June, 28th of August, 8th of November, or 19th of January, and the physical guardian for those born from the 13th to the 17th of June. That's a lot of different things right there. And he does include a bit of an introduction about what the hell all of that means. So the first angelic guide is of divine rank and order. It is commissioned by the command of God, and the charge of this soul is given to this angel at the time of the soul's creation. This angel is a rector and governor of life, imparting divine light and helping lift up the soul towards higher spiritual existence. The first angel operates within the confines of the 24 hours of the day. So that is like Khalil. If you're born between 5:40 a.m. and 6 a.m., according to Travis McHenry, that is the angel responsible for your soul, no matter where your soul goes or what body it's in, I guess, I'm assuming. The second angel, your second angelic guide, emanates from the astrological world, from the power of the stars. It will lead mortals along the path of virtue, and its influence is on the qualities of the moral order and the things that pass into expression and speech. The second angel operates within specific days of the months of the year, right? So Khalil had like November 8th, all those random days throughout the calendar. There you go. That's more of a kind of life path situation. And then the last one emanates from the physical world, governs the physical aspects of a mortal's existence on Earth, and influences health, emotions, and actions. Third angel operates in successive periods of days, right? So 13th to the 17th. That is how Travis McHenry breaks it down, and I'm sure that there is some inkling of truth to it. But if you know anything about God, you know anything about angels, you know that rules rarely necessarily stick like that, is all I can say. However, so when I say it's different, what I mean is this. Once upon a time, years ago, I was asking what the name of my guardian angel is, right? What the name of my guardian angel is, and I got a Z, like a literal Times New Roman Z, popped up in my head. And I said, okay, I don't know what that is. That's not really a name, it's just a letter, but okay. So I held on to that and I tucked it in my back pocket for a long time. And for some reason, it took many years for the thought to just strike me in the head one day like an arrow that maybe my guardian angel has something to do with my rising sign, which is Sagittarius, right? So then it was at that point, many years later, from all of this, that first moment with Z, that I had that thought, and that I also found this book, right, that I've showed you before, Angels and Archangels by Damien Equals, really fantastic book. And in that, it does tell you that there are some angels of Sagittarius, right? So if we go in here far enough, granted these are all, there we go, we'll come up to a list of the angels of Sagittarius. Now, the leader of these angels is Zadkiel, and in my mind I was like, okay, but Zadkiel's an archangel, and not necessarily like the kind of angel that would be a guardian. He can be a guardian, actually, in fact, which I didn't realize, but I actually ended up going down the list and just kind of pointing, is it this one, is it this one, is it this one, thinking that, you know, Zadkiel's the leader of these angels, and the other ones must be one of these few. Turns out I was actually correct, which may be more of luck than anything else, but I was correct, and the angel I landed on is a very interesting one. It's Omamiya, for patience and strength while undergoing adversities to weaken the power of those who would seek to victimize you. But it wasn't until this year when I got this deck that I realized that Omamiya, or Imamiya, means God hidden in darkness, which is kind of another way for me to know that, yup, this is in fact my guardian angel, because it resonates with a lot of the work that I do. God hidden in darkness. All of this stuff I do with Christian witchcraft, it really does look like I'm working with God from the bounds of a more darker, metaphysical, spiritual, mystical kind of thing. Things that are in the shadows that people might be a little spooked to approach. So when I read that he is God hidden in darkness, it just made a lot of sense. As did the way he appeared to me, which is very much like if you've ever seen Hellboy, the Angel of Death. Yeah, not quite exactly the same, but very similar. So Imamiya is a really, really cool angel, and he works actually, he can work in conjunction with the demon Alices. And so when it comes to working with angels and demons together, it's kind of like when you combine red and blue to make purple. They no longer do the same things they do individually, they work on something different altogether. Another way I understood very vividly that this was my angel was that one of the things he helps do, especially in conjunction with Alices, is gain energy from arguments. Which is so funny, because anyone who has ever known me knows that it just riles me up to go start shit somewhere in the comments on the internet. I don't know why. It just does. Okay, well, I guess not now I know why, but regardless, that was another hint, right? So when we're looking for our guardian angel, we want to look for those kind of signs and figures that, yup, this lines up, this makes sense, this explains a lot of things that have happened in my life, right? Because you have these certain kinds of angels following you around. But nonetheless, when we get talking about how to find guardian angels, for me, that was a viable path, right? Was my rising sign being Sagittarius, and knowing that all of these angels are ones associated with Sagittarius. So if we see it again, if you could look at any of these angels, or if you are a Sagittarius yourself, or you have a rising in Sagittarius and you want to work with any of these angels for any of these things, this is a good time to do that. This moment of the year, December, Sagittarius energy really does invoke that feeling of like the big red and gold jolly Santa. So if you're trying to, not take yourself so seriously and get into any of these other kinds of things, now's the time to do so. But for me, that was a big tip. That was a big hint to me that, my rising sign might have something to do with it, because your rising sign is what happens when you are born, and however the sky looks in that moment, what sign is coming over the horizon, that's your rising sign. Kind of almost like a guiding point, guiding light, right? And that happened to kind of lead me down the path I needed to go. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's the correct methodology. It does mean that those were the kind of breadcrumb trail left for me specifically to find that led me to this specific angel. But in that regard, given that now, Omamiya or Imamiya has kind of become our spotlight for the day, this is an angel that absolutely walks an adversarial path with whoever he guards over. I'm obviously not the only person who has this angel as a guardian. As you can see by Travis McHenry, anybody born on certain times, certain days, whatever, is supposed to have this angel guarding them. One of 72. But think about the fact that there's billions of people here and only 72 angels in the typical mystic spaces to deal with all those people. So anyone watching here, potentially you might have Omamiya as a guardian too. It entirely depends. All I know is that this angel is hardcore, does not mince words, very interesting to work with, and seems to prefer to appear in a more, I would say, infernal mask than a divine. I've seen him in his angelic mask too, but it just is not something he likes to wear. he prefers to kind of look more like the Hellboy angel, which is fine, and it kind of suits the whole God hidden in darkness thing, in my opinion. Perfectly clear to you. But nonetheless, this is an angel that I would definitely suggest calling on if you're the kind of person who is jovial to the point of letting too much slide. If you are someone who really tries to shrug things off and, you know, all the jokes and things. Yeah. If you're the kind of person who just lets things roll off your shoulders, but never actually talks about the fact that it is getting to you, if you don't want to be a Debbie Downer, if you don't want to ruin the vibe by actually pointing out that, hey, those jokes were kind of hurtful, this is the angel that'll help you with that. Not only with actually getting the edge to defend yourself properly, but also by bringing justice. This is absolutely an angel that helps bring justice. It says right here, atonement of errors destroys the power of enemies and humiliates them. Obviously, you might not think of your friends as enemies. That makes perfect sense. Alright, so you might not see your friends as enemies, and rightfully so. However, if for some reason they are the kind of friends that aren't really so much friends, and that just kind of seem to like having you around because they know you won't retaliate when they say mean things, right? Because there's a difference between just poking fun at each other and being outright rude. On top of that, this angel will also absolutely give you the bite that you need to stand firm in your values, right? It doesn't matter who comes starting shit with you. This kind of angel is absolutely not going to let you just back down from a fight, especially one that you are in the right in. That's the most important. If you are in the right in a fight, this angel definitely helps empower you to pick up your sword and go handle it. There is a big world out there with a lot of people trying to pull you in a lot of different directions with their opinions. A lot of times it's your guardian angel who's going to be able to guide you more personally and directly in a lot of things. Be like, what are you doing? Just walking around here. Be look. So, in essence, thank you for indulging me in just a little bit of a conversation about a really fantastic guardian angel, as well as a method for trying to find them. Again, it's not a one-size-fits-all, but if you have been lost on where to go to find your guardian angel name, that is a great place to go. Ask God to let your guardian angel speak to you, and then ask for that guardian angel's name or a sign or a clue of who they are, and go from there. What you find may be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Nonetheless, I hope this was a helpful story time, a helpful conversation, and a good insight into one of these 72 angels that anyone is free to call on at any time for any kind of help dealing with people. With all that said, I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you are having a lovely Sagittarius season. See ya!